Hey, thank you for the like. Welcome, everybody. Welcome in. Today we're sculpting. Getting back into it. I just got done doing some studio renovations and cleaning the studio. Trying to decide what I want to keep around or what I want to kind of put either into storage or donate. Let me pull up my reference. Go see if my clay has cooled down. I have some clay in the toaster. Be right back. Looks like soup when it's all. I thought it would be a little bit more cool than it is. I can just start chucking all little bits of clay I chunk off in there for the soup. Hey everybody, nice to see you. Now you might hear a heat gun. I think this song is in Clockwork Orange. Hey, what's up? Just doing some sculpting. Thank you for subscribing. Today we're sculpting a little zombie friend. Trying to block out the shape of the footwear that the zombie's wearing. Hey, like a weekend, we're still blocking out the general form. It's very hard to work with this stuff. You have to have very strong hands, or you have to wear gloves so you don't mind getting like hot goop all over you. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to turn the studio heater back on because it is cold today. Oh, buddy. You just look at my reference. If you hear and see me shivering, it's because it's really cold today. Tried to put some more warm clothing on. We had a storm recently, so I had to like take care of all the damage today. I mean, I didn't take care of it all by myself. Spooky did a lot. but so I should thank her. But it'd be nice for her. There we go. There's like a little fuzzy in my sculpture. There we go. Hey everybody, it's me, your friend, Colors Duel, sculpting a zombie. Specifically the shoes for a zombie today. Or at least right now. We'll probably sculpt for a while. Welcome in. I'm gonna put some heat on this. I don't want to take too much clay off of the feet because they are kind of keeping everything stable on the sculpture. Oh, I caught it. Nice. Ooh. Jumped out of my hands. Trying to strain this light out just a little bit more. Wow. Thanks to everyone who joined us. It's always amazing me how many hundreds of people see my art over here. Most of them are just like good people, just being kind. Thank you so much. It was a pleasant surprise. I do mean it. Thank you. I'm gonna get back to my job. Kind of like researching this medium as I complete it, so that's why it's taking a bit longer than the other ones. I also want to redo a few of my sculptures, like the Grim Reaper sculpture needs to be redone. At some point. Nice. Look at that detail. It's come along. I need to smooth out all this clay though. Hey everybody, welcome. Make sure it stands up. Welcome back. think I need to. We'll do it each side individually. It's a little better. I'm not going to finish this sculpture anytime soon, unfortunately. I have to press so hard on this clay just to get it to move. Sorry about that. If I startled some of you folks, I'm sorry. Now that's kind of jarring with this like quiet, relaxing music, and then just bam. Now I can't take too much clay away from this, or else it's going to kind of destabilize the footing of our sculpture. And we have it kind of just so perfectly balanced at right now. Just taking a little tiny amount at a time. And then I'm rechecking to see, make sure it balances. If it doesn't, I have to counter weight it somewhere else in the sculpture. So I have to add and subtract bits of clay. Well, it's more like intuitive mental math, but yeah. Why does it have to be so amazingly cold? It starts to makes my sculptures start to harden up really quickly. It's harder to work with. I have to keep using that heat gun if I want to carve my sculpture. A few days. Just a few hours each day. For so far about a week. Stuff will adhere to your hands, so you have to like gets under your nails too. Hurts a bit. And then I have to smooth out the whole sculpture because this is just very rough. Me just chiseling away. Next step is to smooth out all the surface details, which will give it kind of a plastic looking feel. Beep, 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 beep. It's working with this stuff's not very documented. It's not very well documented, I should say. Is when I read an analysis of this medium, they were talking about a downfall of the medium just being that not enough people have documented working with this stuff. So I'm doing my part just in part to document help ease that trouble, so the medium can flourish. Because this is really cool. It's very difficult stuff to work with, but it's fun, and you can get so much detail out of everything. There we go. I have to check and make sure it's still stable. Still okay. And back to carving. I have to do the same thing on this one. This is castilene clay. This is I think it's an oil-based clay. You can think of it as like a wax. I was able to make this whole thing with like a tiny amount of the 2 pounds that you can order online. There are several different suppliers of clay. This is the hardest clay, so it's the most rigid and it provides the most detail. If anyone is interested in helping me document working with this stuff. People use this stuff a lot. It's just, if you're trying to break into using stuff, it's like I'm not really following any tutorials right now. You don't even need to make an armature for this stuff. You can just sculpt whatever you like. And it retains its shape perfectly. And you can make molds out of this stuff. Very cool. Yeah. I heat it up to melt it. It has a warm temperature of like 130 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I believe that's the softening temperature, where it's like you can actually work with it. That's how rigid it is. And then 200 degrees is the melting point. Fahrenheit, 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And you can pour it into a mold, and you can make a perfect copy with this stuff. It doesn't have any bubbles. Or you can do what I'm doing, is just using it as a sculpting medium. It's very interesting. Cleaned up the studio a bunch today. It feels all nice. Got a new setup all going. Did a little building. This, little that. No, this, little that. I don't know if y'all know what game that's from. I think it's from the original Baldur's Gate. Is that? Just gonna be doing a little bit of sculpting for a little bit longer. Have a good day. Oh no. Did I saw the foot kind of like turn. It has to be at a certain angle, the stance of the feet, or else it won't stand upright. There we go. Almost at like a 90-degree angle. Make sure that sculpting on camera and not off camera. No, I did a little bit of off-camera sculpting there for a second. Sometimes I have to like bring it close to me and like carve away at it. I used a metal armature throughout the whole thing, but they say online that you can just sculpt with the clay, like a full figure, without any metal armature at all. I didn't know that until after I'd already made the skeleton. I was like, oh wow, okay. But the skeleton does kind of give it the ability to, if it cracks, it's not going to fall off. So there's lots of cracks on the arms when I was posing him, but it's not going to like completely fall apart, which is nice. And it's a little bit better supported. We're looking at our zombie references. I'm like just looking at every little detail in the outfit. The zombie I'm choosing to emulate. If you or anyone you know wants to get into like mold making and stuff though, you might want to think about wax-based clays instead of water. A lot of people say they use this stuff, or they use monster clay, and they don't bother with like traditional water-based clays anymore. This is cool. I can see why. It's very cool. You can get so much more detail with this stuff. Like, I don't know if you can see it in there. I can completely hollow this out, and this it's going to stay pretty much intact. Nice. You do have to get completely different tools, though. Which is kind of silly, but I've tried using my other clay tools on just like trying to harvest enough clay to make this sculpture off of the block, and broke my tools almost instantly, and I had to get completely new tools. And when I say broke, I mean like bent. Just like, and then I tried to like bend it back into shape, and it was just so weak. It had just been destroyed using this clay. And you might think to yourself like, oh, I'll just use them when the clay is really hot, and you would think that's a good idea. Yeah, sure. But the thing is that this stuff sticks to your tools, and no matter what I do, I can't get it to stop sticking. So you might as well have a dedicated set just for sculpting this medium. That's like another drawback that I don't like. My other tools, I use them for air dry clay. I use them for monster clay, but I can't. They're just useless for sculpting this medium. I've come to find at least. So I would recommend, if you want to use this clay, get stainless steel tools. That's my own personal recommendation. That's what I'm using now, at least. And just get some. These are pretty cheap. These were like $8. And get ready to like work on your grip strength when you sculpt with this stuff. Get ready, because yeah, there'll be some times where you have to carve. Like I'm working as fast as I can, but the how rigid this clay is makes it almost impossible to do very quick work. I said, hopefully we can just document working with this stuff. It doesn't have to be the best thing in the world. We just, we have to increase the learning resources in the world for this meeting, which is easily done through just making art, doing crafts with this stuff, making molds and models and such. There are a few cool places on YouTube where you can probably find some stuff like this. Like people working with stuff. But I think I'm the only one who's like done lots of like live streams working back to back and stuff. I have a few like little shorts out there too of me working a little bit. A little bit with the castilene clay, I think it's called. Castilene? Castilene? I think it's castilene. I'm not sure. Let's check. Castilene. Used by artists and sculptors referring to a specific material. That's the wrong one. There we go. Do, do, do.